Hello, Mr. Gupta. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Jignesh. I'm fine.
Sir, thank you for your time. Sir, what's your first reaction on the budget?
So broadly, budget is growth oriented. That is good. But just that we were expecting a little more boost on the consumption side because it generally is a quicker boost to the economy. But the government has focused on capital expenditure instead of consumption. So it will take some time for the economy to revive. But overall, a little more fiscal expansion is always good for the economy at this stage when we are recovering from a very, very bad year, very tough economic year. So good growth-oriented budget. They could have spent a little more on consumption, but the choice that they had, so they choose to be more on capital expenditure side rather than consumption side. That's fair. It will take a little longer to things to spread out the impact of the budget and spending to play out. In consumption, really what happens is that the impact is immediate.
Right.
So, but overall, the natural business cycle, it will help the natural business cycle to recover and corporate earnings to improve over the next 2-3 years.
Right. What are some of the highlights, that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yeah. So as I pointed out, the spending on capital expenditure has increased from 1.9% of GDP to 2.6%. That was a good point. Secondly, if you can say that the focus on healthcare is definitely positive. It's the place where there were clearly gaps when they were handling the pandemic, and they are taking care of that. So that's also a positive. The only thing that the cess that they have put in on oil and so petrol and diesel, that will be inflationary in nature, and with no help on the consumption that they have given to the consumers, because of this inflation, actually the real income in the hands of people could actually come down a bit. So it could dent consumption a little. So we are a little worried on near-term consumption because petrol and diesel goes into a lot of input also, specifically diesel where the price has been 4 rupees. So it will definitely be inflationary. So, and RBI will also have to take care of that inflation before it finalizes its continuation of accommodative policy. So those are some things that one has to be very careful about because inflation will rise and monetary policy has to be tightened if the fiscal is expanding. So there will be a balance between two. So we have to look what's happening over there. Otherwise, nothing much tinkering. Direct tax was absolutely the same. A bit here and there changes. Even on the taxes, on the indirect taxes, they have adjusted the custom duties which they have been doing over the last 2 years to bring it align it with their Atmanirbhar goal. So that could be some sector, some company specific moves that will happen with the benefit from custom duty and other things. So that is one thing that stock specific reactions could occur over next 1, 2, 3 days as people get the fine print and understand what is happening. So broadly, these are the contours of the budget that we are making out.
Bank Nifty has been struggling a lot, especially the BFSI segment, and today we see there is a smart up move, comes up from the market as far as banking sector is concerned, and of course the insurance and the NBFCs. So, what could be the primary reason for that?
Look, so market technicals could be a factor. Overall, within the budget, there were few things for banking which was good, sentimentally positive. Actually, if you try to model things and whether there will be earning upgrades because of changes in the budget, I don't see that happening. But yes, the one was that ARC that they are forming and where the bad loans go there and PSU's capital gets free. So that is one thing that is positive for sure. Then they talk about privatizing 2 more banks, excluding IDBI Bank, which is definitely very reformist and which is very, very positive in the sense that the government is keen to get rid of its banking business. So fundamentally, it's a sector positive. Not that lot of private sector banks where most ownership is for the private equity holder. It does not change the needle too much. But overall, when the economy does well, the NPA cycle reduces, your loan growth improves. Overall, bank is always a great barometer. Banking health is a great barometer of the economic health, right? So if something's happening on the economy, if the NPA accretion will be lower, the loan growth will be higher. So in natural progression, that is positive definitely for banks. The only point that I would like to highlight is that because of this expansionary fiscal policy, there will be rub-off on the GSEC yields and yields. Today spike and it will move up if inflation comes in. And there will be some crowding out effect of private sector. right? Because the government's share of borrowing increases, there will be somebody who has to give up their borrowing share. So that is a
Correct.
negative impact on the sector. But I believe that if there are flows, enough flows into debt market, that will be taken care of through foreign flows.
Right, sir. So, on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the best, what would be your rating for the budget?
It will be closer to 6. Yeah.
Closer to 6. Yes, sir. It's always, interesting to have your view, and looking forward for more such opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for calling me. Thank you.
Thank you.